Today, we are diving into a story filled with magic, betrayal, friendship, and destiny. A story that has captured the hearts of millions on Broadway and is now taking the big screen by storm. Yes, we're talking about the highly anticipated sequel, Wicked, For Good, 2025. For those who may not know, Wicked is not just a fantasy tale. It is the untold story behind The Wizard of Oz. It asks a powerful question. What if the Wicked Witch of the West wasn't wicked at all? What if she was misunderstood, judged by appearances, and caught in the middle of forces far greater than herself? In Wicked, Part 1, we were introduced to Elphaba, the girl with emerald green skin, who has been treated as an outcast her entire life. We also met Glinda, the bubbly, ambitious, and dazzlingly popular young woman who, on the surface, seems to have it all. Two unlikely girls who began as rivals, but grew into best friends, forever changing the fate of Oz. But now, Wicked, For Good takes us deeper. This is not just a continuation, it's the emotional conclusion. A story where friendship is tested, where love becomes sacrifice, and where power comes with a price. The title itself, For Good, holds a double meaning. Could mean doing good, choosing what is right, but it could also mean forever. And in this movie, those two meanings collide in ways that will leave audiences speechless. This film bridges the gap between Wicked and the iconic Wizard of Oz. We will see how the Wicked Witch rises, how Glinda embraces her destiny, and how the world of Oz becomes the one we already know. But what makes this sequel so powerful isn't just the story. It's the themes, the cost of friendship when the world turns against you, the blurred line between hero and villain, and the idea that sometimes history itself is written by those in power, not by those who lived it. In today's breakdown, we'll explore everything: the plot of Wicked, For Good, its hidden connections to the Wizard of Oz, the behind-the-scenes magic that brought this fantasy world to life, and the deeper meaning of what it truly means to be wicked. So grab your broomsticks, your wands, and your courage, because we are about to step into Oz one last time. Stay with us until the end, because this is not just a story about witches and magic. It's about us, about how friendship, choices, and sacrifice shape who we become. This is Wicked, For Good. The story picks up where Part 1 left off. Elphaba, the so-called Wicked Witch of the West, is on the run. She's seen by the people of Oz as dangerous, unpredictable, even evil. But the truth is, she's fighting for freedom, for justice, and for the chance to protect those who cannot protect themselves. Meanwhile, Glinda, her once best friend, has taken her place in the public eye. She is adored, respected, and crowned as the Good Witch. But behind her sparkling smile lies a heart heavy with guilt and conflict. She knows Elphaba isn't truly wicked, yet circumstances and powerful forces have turned them into enemies in the eyes of the world. This is where Wicked, For Good raises its most haunting question. Who decides who is good and who is wicked? We see Elphaba's rise not as a villain, but as a freedom fighter. She stands against the wizard, against corruption, and against a system that has used fear to control the people of Oz. Her powers grow, but so does her isolation. The more she resists the wizard, the more the world paints her as a monster. Glinda, on the other hand, faces her own struggle. She must choose between doing what is right, defending her friend, or maintaining her place of influence and power. It's a painful balance. Sacrifice a friendship for the greater good, or risk everything by standing with Elphaba. The movie also dives deeper into the wizard's manipulation. We see how he uses propaganda, fear, and lies to control the citizens. This isn't just fantasy. It's a reflection of real-world history, where those in power often rewrite the truth to maintain control. One of the most powerful themes in Wicked, For Good, is the transformation of friendship into legend. Elphaba and Glinda's story is not just about magic, but about love, trust, betrayal, and forgiveness. The bond they share, even when the world tears them apart, becomes the emotional heartbeat of the movie. And let's not forget the cinematic spectacle. The visuals in this film are breathtaking. Towering castles of emerald and gold, dark, stormy skies swirling with magic, flying broomstick battles across the night, and intimate moments of raw emotion that pull the audience in. But the most unforgettable moments come when choices must be made. Choices that define not only the fate of Oz, but also how history itself will remember these two women. Will Elphaba be remembered as a villain? Will Glinda be remembered as the true savior? Or is the truth somewhere in between? What makes Wicked for Good so powerful is its refusal to give easy answers. It shows us that sometimes heroes are painted as villains, and villains may have been heroes all along. And then, of course, comes the music. The soundtrack is not just a background element. It drives the emotions of the film. Songs like For Good remind us that even when people are separated, the impact they leave on each other lasts forever. It's a message about friendship, love, and how our choices ripple across time. This is the stage where the movie grips us, not just with fantasy and spectacle, but with human emotion. It makes us ask ourselves, have we ever judged someone unfairly? Have we ever lost a friend because of circumstances beyond our control? And most importantly, what would we choose if we were in Glinda's or Elphaba's shoes? As the story builds toward its climax, the line between good and evil blurs more than ever. And the truth is, by the end of this act, the audience realizes something. Oz will never be the same. The walls of Oz are closing in. Elphaba, once misunderstood but still hopeful, now finds herself cornered by forces far greater than she ever imagined. The wizard's lies have spread like wildfire. The people of Oz are united in their fear. And Glinda, torn between her duty and her heart, watches as her best friend becomes the target of an entire nation. The tension builds toward the moment that audiences have been waiting for, the showdown between truth and perception. Elphaba, standing tall with her magic, faces not only the wizard's corruption, but also the judgment of the world. She has been called wicked, dangerous, evil. But through her actions, protecting the weak, standing up to tyranny, we see the opposite. She is not wicked. She is simply different. And in a world that fears difference, that makes her dangerous. Glinda's arc also comes full circle here. We watch her wrestle with the painful truth. She loves Elphaba as a sister, but she cannot save her. The forces of propaganda, the whispers of fear, and the wizard's control are too strong. Glinda becomes the face of goodness in Oz, but it is a role that comes with unbearable weight. This is where Wicked for Good pulls the audience into its most emotional territory, because we already know the legend. The Wicked Witch of the West is defeated. But the movie forces us to ask, was she ever truly wicked? The climactic scene is breathtaking. Elphaba, surrounded, defies her enemies with one last act of courage. The skies swirl with green lightning. Her broom rises into the storm. The wizard's soldiers advance. And Glinda, standing helplessly in the distance, whispers words that carry both love and sorrow. The battle is more than magic. It's symbolic. It is the struggle of truth against lies, of freedom against control, of friendship against betrayal. And then, silence. The scene shifts. Elphaba is gone. The people of Oz celebrate the end of the Wicked Witch. They cheer, they rejoice, never realizing the truth of what they've lost. But Glinda knows. Her face says it all. The pain in her eyes is a silent reminder that history is not always written by the righteous. Sometimes, it is written by those in power. The film then moves into its closing theme, one of memory, love, and legacy. The song for Good swells as we see glimpses of both women. Their shared moments, their laughter, their bond. Though separated by fate, they have changed each other forever. And this is the true heart of Wicked for Good. It's not about witches or wizards or battles in the sky. It's about friendship, messy, complicated, painful, and yet beautiful. It's about how people we love leave imprints on us that time can never erase. And it's about the courage to live with the truth, even when the world believes a lie. The film closes not with a grand victory, but with bittersweet silence. The curtain falls on Oz, a land forever divided between what is good and what is wicked. But the audience walks away knowing that the truth lives not in legend, but in the bond of two friends who changed each other's lives, for good. And so, the question lingers long after the credits roll. Was Elphaba really wicked? Or was she the truest hero Oz ever had? This ending doesn't just complete the story. It invites every viewer to reflect on friendship, on truth, and on the way history is told. Because sometimes, the real magic is not in spells or flying broomsticks, but in the choices we make and the people we carry with us forever.